Puppies bring immense joy to life, or so it seemed to this man who eagerly brought one of these adorable companions home. Yet, within a mere day, his initial enthusiasm transformed into regret. Dogs rank among the most popular pets worldwide, and China alone is home to over 110 million cherished canines living with their loving families. For many individuals, the specific breed of their four-legged companion is of little concern. In many cases, people find contentment in adopting common breeds or even rescuing dogs from shelters. In such instances, it is not the breed that holds importance but rather the dog's personality. However, despite this mindset, the majority of individuals still rely on their instincts when selecting their furry companions. A small fraction of the population chooses a dog based on its breed, specifically seeking out rare and exclusive breeds. This decision is often driven by status-seeking motives, as owning a rare breed is seen as a display of wealth. Such breeds tend to be more expensive, further emphasizing their exclusivity. Although not the most commendable business concept, it garnered little objection from many as long as the animals received adequate care and attention right from the start. However, a recent trend emerged, one that left this man remorseful about his decision to purchase a puppy of his own. Yang Fei was an ordinary man who lived a rather normal life. He had been born and raised in China and had lived there his entire life. He had been an only child and his parents had had great expectations of him from a young age. They had wanted Yang to have a very successful life when he was older, with a well-paying job and lots of money which he could then use to buy expensive things. Because of the tradition of children looking after their elders, Yang's parents also knew that if their son was to become rich, then they would also have a very easy retirement. In order to make sure that their son achieved these goals, though Yang's parents made their son study hard, often for hours at a time, they also made him join a variety of different clubs and take up learning a musical instrument, all to impress potential colleges when he was older. However, despite all of the hard work that Yang did, the one thing that he was never allowed was his own pet dog. Being an only child, the boy would often feel quite lonely as he had no one to play with once he was at home. He asked his parents multiple times if he could have his own pet dog, a puppy to play with and spend time with. However, his parents told him no. They claimed that having the animal would simply distract the boy from his studies and that he wouldn't end up in a prestigious college. A few years went by and Yang was able to get into one of the best colleges in the country. He passed all of his lessons as one of the top in his classes. After graduating, the young man was able to get a very sought-after position in a well-paying company. Everything that the young man's parents had wanted for him was finally coming true. However, even though Yang was happy to achieve all of his goals, he still felt quite lonely, especially when he moved out of his parents' home into his own apartment. But how could he make his home feel more comfortable and welcoming? Well, one day, Yang was walking along the street heading to the nearby shops. It was his day off of work, and he had decided that he wanted to get out into the town to do some shopping and be around people. A new video game had also just been released, so the young man wanted to see if he could get one before they were all sold out. On his way there, he saw an odd sight up ahead. It seemed as if there were a street vendor trying to sell something. However, it wasn't your typical fruit or vegetables. As Yang got closer to the man, he could hear him calling out to people to buy his wares. Getting curious about what the item could be, the young man walked closer to the seller and stopped next to him. But when he looked into the box beside the man to get a look at what was being sold, Yang couldn't believe his eyes. Sitting in the box were a group of very young puppies, but that wasn't the most shocking thing. All of the puppies had strange tiger-like marks on their fur. As the young man examined the dogs in wonder, the seller quickly walked up to him and began explaining what they were. He told Yang that the puppies were from a very rare breed of dog, the striped Ridgebacks, and that it was almost impossible to find them anywhere else as people were eager to buy them. Yang examined the puppies a little longer, and he couldn't help but admit that he had found them to be quite adorable and very intriguing to look at. He thought that perhaps if he got one, he would solve his loneliness issue whilst also still being able to show off the amount of wealth that he possessed. After coming to this conclusion, Yang asked the man selling the dogs how much they each were. The man told him that there were 400,000 Chinese yuan, which is roughly 60,000 US dollars. Yang was shocked at the price, but as he looked down at the little strap bowls of fluff, he knew that he had to have one. The young man quickly rushed off to the nearest ATM machine to withdraw the money. Thankful that he had saved quite a bit up from his job, he then raced back to the man selling the puppies and happily handed the money over before picking out his new canine companion. Yang decided to name his new friend Lu, meaning tiger in Chinese. On the way home, the young man was thrilled with his purchase. Everyone he walked past turned their heads to get a better look at the tiger-striped pup in his arms, and he loved the fact that no one else clearly had a dog like his. Once at home, Yang realized that there were a few things that he needed to do in order to make sure that his new pup was happy and as healthy as he could be. The first one of these things was to give the animal a bath. After being on the streets for so long, there was a very high chance that the dog had picked up fleas, and Yang didn't want to be bitten to death by the annoying parasites. But as he got Lu into his bath, Yang quickly came to realize his decision of buying the dog. As the man washed away the filth of the streets, he began to think that his dog truly had been covered in muck as the bathwater quickly turned black. But as Yang lifted the puppy out of the water, he soon came to realize what had actually happened. All of the canine stripes had washed off the dog. Wasn't some rare breed at all, but a common dog that had simply had black stripes painted onto it. Yang couldn't believe it, he had been scammed. After drying the puppy off, the young man found that he was so embarrassed that he couldn't even look at the dog anymore. Nevertheless, Yang understood that the unfortunate incident was not the puppy's fault, and it was only fair that the little one found a caring home. Yang promptly contacted his parents, who gladly agreed to welcome the dog into their lives, as they had been experiencing a sense of loneliness since Yang moved out. Fortunately, Lu enjoyed a life brimming with love and joy. Meanwhile, Yang gleaned a valuable lesson about purchasing pets from unlicensed sellers. Sadly, the distressing trend of dyeing puppies' fur has gained popularity in recent years. These unscrupulous individuals perceive it as a convenient means to amass wealth. If you're seeking a new furry companion, ensure that sellers are licensed and consider reputable rescue shelters as well. What are your thoughts on the trend of painting dogs to resemble big cats? Do you believe this practice is morally acceptable or unacceptable? Let us know in the comment section. I hope you liked this video. Please give us a thumbs up and consider to share it with your friends and family. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.